Breakfast with the Thomases, the ultimate prize. Mental Wellness Monday, work it out Wednesday, pay it forward Friday, we're seizing the day. Digital finance, unlearning a love, serving food to what goes to, rising every beat and mid Eastern on P2G TV. Breakfast with the Thomases, come eat with me.
All right, Grand Rising, welcome to another Mental Wellness Monday. I am your host, Alvin Thomas, coming to you live 1 gram at a time. The Gold Banger coming to you live 1 gram at a time. Yo, Brother BC, I see you in the spot. Miss Ruby will be on. Oh, hold on, let me get her right here. There you go. Hey, lady. Grand Rising to you, Grand Rising.
Hello, hello.
Hello to you. What? Always
I'm
a
trying to
pleasure
get
to see
myself set up.
Always a pleasure to see my
Mr.
beautiful
Thomas, you're
face.
gonna have to let me out the room.
You want me to take you out the room? So we're getting ready to get started. You know, we're on 7 platforms today, and we're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Clapper. We're gonna be on, and we got a great video coming to you. I want you guys to say, you know, one of the things as a kid, remember growing up, I had an uncle who was a contractor, and he always said, never try to do things more than once, because it just made perfect sense. And I'm like, it took me a while as an adult to actually do that. I just figured, okay. I knew he said it didn't make sense, but I really didn't understand why. And when it comes to financial literacy, I know a lot of people don't understand why you want to do it one time, one way, and it'll help move things along so you know what you're doing, how you're doing it. This is why we have a philosophy of pay yourself first at the P2G network. And one of the things I'm going to share with you today, I call this one the construction. I call it the construction video. But I want you to get this. The whole basis of it is, and I want you to hear me out when I say this. Measure twice, cut once. Okay? Measure twice, cut once. And we're going to jump into the video right now, and then we're going to have some conversation around that video. And I hope you guys, like we always say, get your pen and paper ready, because this is going to be one for the record books, because you're going to get this. And I think you're going to get this one on the first shot. So here we go.
Messages yet, no demands. Just a brief moment before the world starts asking for something. Someone opens their banking app, their finger pauses for a second, because they already know what happened last month. A car repair, a grocery bill that cost more than expected. Nothing dramatic on its own, but enough to leave one familiar thought. I am one surprise away from being stuck again. So this time, they don't wait for leftovers. They don't hope there's money at the end of the month. They move first. Exactly. $50 goes into savings, not $47, not $63. $50, the same amount. Every time, no negotiation. At first, it feels almost pointless, like trying to hold back a river with a small cup. But they've tried the other way before, saving only when it felt possible, and it never lasted. Something always came up. Something always took priority. So this time, they choose consistency over comfort. Slowly, something begins to change. Not overnight, not dramatically, but quietly. A small financial buffer starts growing in the background of their life, not enough to feel wealthy, not enough to feel finished, but enough to breathe a little easier when life becomes unpredictable. And that's the part most people never hear. This isn't about earning more money. It isn't about finding a secret investment or waiting for the perfect financial breakthrough. It's about turning one simple action into a habit that survives busy weeks, stressful months, and unexpected setbacks. Most savings advice assumes life is predictable. Real life isn't. Real life is messy, uneven, and full of surprises. So instead of relying on motivation, this approach relies on a small action repeated consistently until it becomes automatic. Because once saving becomes part of your routine instead of another decision, everything begins to feel different. But before this habit can work, you first have to understand why most savings plans fail long before the first dollar is ever saved. It usually starts in a quiet moment, maybe late at night, scrolling through financial advice, hoping that this time will be different. Then the numbers appear. Save 20% of every paycheck. Build 6 months of expenses. On paper, it all sounds responsible. But in real life, something doesn't add up. For many people, the problem isn't discipline, it's design. Take Renata. She wasn't careless with money, she followed the advice. But every month, rent, groceries, utilities, insurance, and transportation consumed her paycheck before she could even think about saving. By the end of the month, there was rarely anything left. Still, she kept trying. She set goals, started over, fell behind, started again. Slowly, what changed wasn't her effort, it was her belief. One evening, she sat at her kitchen table, opened her laptop, and entered every real expense into a savings calculator. Income, rent, bills, food, transport. Then one more line, a car repair she'd been avoiding for weeks. She pressed calculate. The result appeared. She stared at the screen, almost expecting it to change. It didn't. She closed the laptop and sat there in silence. That moment said more than any spreadsheet ever could. For the first time, the future she wanted didn't seem impossible. It simply didn't seem to fit the life she was living. That's the hidden flaw in most savings advice. It assumes there's always something left over. For many people, there isn't. Renata finally realized the problem wasn't her commitment. It was the system she was trying to force her life into. So she stopped asking, "How much should I save?" and started searching for a completely different question. The answer didn't come from a bank, a budget app, or a finance expert. It came from a simple lesson about laying floor tiles, and it changed the way she thought about saving forever. A few days after giving up on yet another savings plan, Renata visited her uncle. He had spent decades installing ceramic tile. A pencil always rested behind his ear, and before answering any question, he would quietly wipe the dust from his hands. Watching him work, Renata asked, "How do you stay motivated when the finish line is so far away?" She expected him to talk about discipline. Instead, he smiled. "I never think about the whole floor," he said. "I only focus on the next tile." Then he quietly turned back to work. The soft scrape of his tools filled the room as another tile slipped into place. Renata stood there in silence, watching. For the first time, the unfinished floor didn't feel overwhelming. It felt like something built one small decision at a time. At first, the advice sounded almost too simple. But the more she thought about it, the more it explained every savings plan she'd ever abandoned. Every goal had started with a number that felt too big. A full emergency fund, a year's worth of expenses, a future that always seemed out of reach. Her attention wasn't on today's action. It was trapped on tomorrow's mountain. That's when everything changed. She stopped asking, "How long will this take?" and started asking, "What's the next tile?" The destination hadn't changed. Only the size of the next step had. Sometimes progress isn't blocked by a lack of money. It's blocked by the way we measure it. And that realization became the foundation for a saving system she could finally stick with. That insight led her to create a surprisingly simple 3-part system. And the first step was something she eventually called the brick. Once Renata stopped trying to picture the entire wall, she could finally focus on the only part she could actually touch. And that's when everything changed. For the first time, the goal didn't feel far away. It felt like something she could build today. She stopped thinking about her emergency fund as one intimidating number. Instead, she broke it into bricks. Each brick was worth exactly $50. Nothing more, nothing less. She first calculated the minimum she would need to survive one difficult month, not the life she wanted. Just the essentials, keeping the lights on, food in the kitchen, a roof over her head, getting to work, insurance. Then she divided that number into $50 pieces. Suddenly, what once felt overwhelming became a series of small, repeatable steps. For the first time, it didn't feel impossible. It felt structured. She wrote down the total number of bricks, folded the paper, and put it away. From that day on, she stopped thinking about the total. Her only job was to place the next brick. Every payday, before doubt had a chance to appear, an automatic transfer quietly moved another $50 into her emergency fund. No debate, no emotional negotiation. The hardest decision happened only once. When she set up the system, after that, consistency replaced willpower. Saving no longer felt like giving something up. It felt like adding something solid, like placing another brick on a wall that grew stronger with every paycheck. The wall didn't need to be finished to matter. It only needed to be stronger than it was yesterday, and that small shift changed everything. But the weekly brick wasn't what truly changed everything. The real turning point came from what she did whenever unexpected money showed up, and that one simple rule changed the entire system. By this point, Renata had built one dependable habit. Every payday, another $50 brick went into her emergency fund. Slowly, the wall kept growing. Then something unexpected happened. Money started showing up outside her paycheck, a canceled subscription, a larger than expected tax refund, an insurance reimbursement, a birthday gift. Nothing dramatic, just money that felt easy to spend. For the first time, Renata noticed something uncomfortable. She was tempted. I deserve a little treat. It's not part of my budget anyway. Before she realized it, she was already scrolling through a shopping app. Then she stopped, because one thought changed everything. If I don't decide what this money is for, the money will decide for me. So she made a rule. Any unexpected money would sit untouched overnight. No exceptions. The next morning, a tax refund became the first test. The excitement was still there, but the urgency wasn't. Instead of asking what she could buy, she asked herself a different question. What do I actually want this money to do for me? The answer was simple. Bricks. After that, the rule became automatic. A canceled subscription became bricks. An overtime payment became bricks. An insurance refund became bricks. The pattern repeated so consistently that it stopped feeling like self-control. It became part of the system. Her emergency fund no longer grew from paydays alone. Unexpected money gave it momentum. And because every windfall already had a destination, impulse spending rarely had a chance to begin. She wasn't relying on willpower anymore. She had simply moved the decision away from the moment where temptation was strongest, and that changed everything. But there was one final rule that made this entire system almost impossible to quit, and strangely enough, it involved putting a limit on how much she was allowed to save. By now, Renata's emergency fund was growing steadily, one brick every payday. Extra bricks whenever unexpected money appeared. The system was working, but she'd learned something from every savings plan she'd failed before. Most plans don't collapse during bad months. They collapse after overly ambitious good months. Maybe you've said something like, I'm doing well this month. I'll save a few $100s instead. It feels responsible. It feels disciplined, but that's where the cycle begins. The following month gets more expensive. Your hours are reduced. Suddenly, that bigger goal feels impossible. Missing it creates frustration. Frustration becomes guilt. And guilt quietly convinces you to stop. Renata wanted to eliminate that pattern, so she made one rule. Even after a great month, she would never increase the size of her brick. Not once. Not ever. If extra money arrived, she didn't change the system. She simply repeated it. Another brick, same size, same rule. The amount never changed, only the number of repetitions did. That mattered more than it seemed, because consistency survives pressure in a way intensity never can. A system built on emotional bursts eventually burns out. A system built on small, repeatable actions keeps going even when life gets messy. Some months, Renata added one brick. Other months, several. And in difficult months, none at all. But the system never broke. It simply waited. No guilt, no pressure to catch up. Just another opportunity to place the next brick. Because real financial progress isn't built on never stopping. It's built on always being able to begin again. But many people still ask the same question. Can $50 really make a difference? The answer comes much sooner than most people expect. The biggest misconception about an emergency fund is that it only becomes useful once it's fully built. That isn't how it works. It starts changing your life long before you ever reach the finished number. Renata learned that sooner than she expected. A few months into the brick system, she had saved enough to cover 1 month of essential expenses. Not a complete safety net, not even close to 6 months. But for the first time, she had a real financial buffer. Then something inconvenient happened. Her car needed urgent brake repairs. The kind you don't debate, you just deal with. The bill landed in front of her, and a year earlier, it would have triggered days of mental juggling, delayed payments, and quiet panic. This time, it didn't. She paid it, left, and moved on. No reshuffling, no late-night calculations. Just a problem. Handled. Later that evening, she noticed something unexpected. The money was gone, but the anxiety never arrived. She even caught herself waiting for the familiar pressure to appear. It never did, just silence. Just an ordinary evening continuing as if nothing had happened. That absence felt strange, not because it was dramatic, but because it wasn't. For the first time, money had left her account without taking her peace of mind with it. She didn't celebrate. She didn't call it progress. She simply remembered how different it felt. The system wasn't finished, but when life tested it, it held, and that was enough to keep building. Around the same time Renata committed to her brick system, one of her coworkers decided to improve her finances too. We'll call her Paula. They worked in the same pharmacy, earned nearly the same paycheck, and shared the same quiet fear. One unexpected bill could undo everything. They even started saving during the same week. But from that moment, their paths separated. Paula went all in. She set a strict monthly savings goal and treated it like a rule that could never be broken. Renata chose something much smaller, an automatic transfer she barely noticed. A system built to survive bad months, not just good ones. At first, Paula looked like she had made the smarter choice. Her balance grew quickly, and she checked it constantly, watching the number rise like proof she had finally taken control. Then life interrupted. A dead car battery, an unexpected medical bill, longer work shifts. Paula opened her banking app and realized keeping her savings goal meant she couldn't cover everything else. She paused the transfer, just for now. Sitting alone in her car after work, she kept opening and closing the app, hoping the numbers would somehow make more sense. Renata never faced that decision. Her transfer was small enough to keep running quietly in the background. Weeks became months. Paula kept restarting. Renata simply kept going. Her balance grew slowly, but it never reset. Over time, difficult days stopped feeling like financial emergencies. Not because life became easier, but because she was no longer living on the edge. Paula's plan needed perfect months. Renata survived imperfect ones, and in the long run, only one of those systems could survive real life. Most people think financial security arrives the day their savings finally reaches the right number, a full emergency fund, a figure that finally feels safe. But that isn't when the biggest change usually happens. For Renata, it arrived on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. She was sitting at her kitchen table, half listening to the kettle boil, when her phone lit up with a bank notification. A small, unexpected bill had just been paid. She looked at the screen. Then something strange happened. Nothing, no rush of anxiety, no frantic mental calculation, no sinking feeling in her stomach. She actually paused, surprised by her own reaction. A few months earlier, that same notification would have sent her mind racing through rent, groceries, and every other bill waiting to be paid. Instead, she quietly set her phone down and went back to making tea. That was when she realized what had really changed. Not her income, not the size of her savings, her relationship with uncertainty. There was now a gap between the problem and her response. And in that gap, panic no longer lived. Life still surprised her. Bills still arrived, but they no longer controlled her emotions. Just a notification and no reaction. That was the difference, not in the numbers. In her, that is the part most people never expect. An emergency fund doesn't just protect your money. It protects the way you think. Because the moment fear stops making every financial decision for you, saving no longer feels like sacrifice. It feels like freedom. Not every financial situation should begin with saving. For some people, trying to save too early is exactly what keeps them stuck. Think about Renata. She didn't start the brick system the first time she heard about it. She dismissed it not because it was bad advice, but because it didn't fit her reality. Back then, her account didn't have extra money. It had timing problems. Bills arrived before income had fully caught up, and every month ended the same way. An empty balance? Sometimes worse. Saving didn't feel difficult. It felt impossible. That's where many people misunderstand financial advice. They try to use a system before their situation can support it. Now imagine one thing changes. A lease ends and rent drops. A loan is finally paid off. Nothing dramatic, but enough to create a small financial gap. That's where the brick system finally becomes useful. Renata only began building her emergency fund after she reached that point, not before. Once there was even a little breathing room, she made her first move. One automatic transfer of $25. That was it. No dramatic transformation. But for the first time, her money had direction instead of simply disappearing. If you're still in survival mode, your first goal isn't saving. It's stability. That might mean earning more, reducing one major expense, or rebuilding your monthly budget. Because saving only works when something is left to save. The brick system isn't a rescue plan, it's a construction plan. And construction only begins when the ground can support it. Start where you are, stabilize first, then build. Once you've built the habit of laying bricks, there's one more decision that can quietly strengthen your progress. It isn't about saving more, It's about choosing where those savings live. Many people leave their emergency fund in a regular checking account because it feels simple and familiar. The problem is that safe often also means idle. Your money stays protected, but it does very little while it waits. Renata used to think that was simply how savings worked. Money went in, it stayed there. End of story. Then one afternoon, she opened her account and noticed something unexpected. A few cents had appeared, not from a deposit, from interest. She almost ignored it. Then she paused. For the first time, her money had done something on its own. It wasn't the amount that mattered, it was what it represented. Her savings weren't completely still anymore, so she moved her emergency fund into a high-yield savings account. She wasn't chasing higher returns or taking extra risk. She simply wanted her money to stay accessible while quietly earning a little in the background. Over time, even during months when she added nothing, the balance continued to inch upward, not because she changed her behavior, but because time had started contributing alongside her. Her money wasn't just waiting anymore, it was participating. That's the balance. Protection first, growth second. An emergency fund should always stay safe and available when life happens. Any interest it earns is simply a bonus. And once you experience that for yourself, saving stops feeling like money sitting still. It starts feeling like money quietly working beside you. After everything we've covered, it's easy to think this story was always about saving $50, but it never was. The amount was never the lesson. The real lesson is making progress small enough that you never feel like stopping. Most people don't struggle because they lack intelligence. They struggle because they try to build an entire wall in a single weekend. The effort becomes overwhelming. They stop, they start again, months later, then they stop again. The brick system breaks that cycle. It replaces impossible goals with repeatable actions. One automatic transfer, one unexpected windfall turned into progress. One simple decision, repeated over time. Think back to where Renata began. She wasn't earning an extraordinary income. She didn't receive a miracle opportunity. She simply stopped chasing perfection and trusted a process. She never noticed the exact day everything changed. Only later did she realize something was missing. The panic? No more tightening in her chest when a bank notification appeared. No more frantic mental math before opening her account. Just the quiet confidence that things would hold. That's what an emergency fund is really for. Not to impress anyone, not to sit untouched forever, but to stand between you and financial panic when life refuses to follow your plans. So don't think about saving a year's worth of expenses. Don't even think about 6 months. Think about the next brick. Set up one automatic transfer. Give unexpected money a purpose before it disappears. Then let time do what it does best. Years from now, you won't remember each individual brick. You'll simply realize you've built a wall that had been protecting you all along.
Very interesting. Getting back is problems, almost a problem. Grand Rising, everybody. How you doing? It's your girl, El Ruby T, here with you on your Mental Wellness Monday. I love that video, by the way, Mr. Thomas. Can you hear me?
Hey, lovely lady, how are you? How we
I'm
doing? How we?
excellent.
Good deal.
I'm
I'm
having a
glad.
great time. Thank you.
Yes, I'm very jealous. I want you to know that. But it's okay. I'm glad. I'm glad. You know, we. First of all, I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad to see that you're well. Um, and you know, you're just
Hmm.
having some time. You're taking some time. Oh, so let's really just jump into this. You know, I was sitting here. I had taken notes the other night when I pulled this up and I had sent it over to you. And
Hmm.
I want to ask people a question really. When people create their budget, are they actually creating a budget from what they make every week, or they only look at the budget when they get some extra money in it? 'Cause, you know, I noticed that it was something when I was working, I dealt with it. My budget changed according to how much money I made, how much money I get. You know, if I did some
Hmm.
overtime, my budget changed. And not that it changed my bills were,
Hmm.
but I had more money, so I thought I could do more things. Does anyone, has anyone ever
So
experienced?
there's a statement. So before we go into it, you were in the mindset. Remember, I told you about that? The mindset of extra money.
Yeah, very much so. Extra.
There's no such thing as extra money. There's no such thing as extra money. But
That's
we
what.
we as human beings always see anything outside our normal numbers as extra. I love this video. You did a really good job at choosing this one because it hit on like every point, including the automation. That's mandatory.
Right.
People think that's optional. That's mandatory nowadays.
It takes that
And it goes with the original video you shared with us. Remember that first video you shared with us about the gentleman, the two people who
yes,
save
yes,
money?
it did.
I should say one trying to save and the other one figuring it out. And the automation changed the game, right?
Mm. Automation does make a difference. But it's amazing how you think, the mindset of, I put in some extra hours this week so I can ball out a little bit. Your mindset, you can ball out. And you really aren't doing yourself a service. You're actually doing yourself a disservice. Trust me, I'm speaking from ground level. Been there, done that. You're doing yourself a disservice because you think extra money means extra you playtime. No, you know, changing changing your mindset around how you want to live your life is a system that you have to create, and you have to live into that system. And this is what the video is actually speaking to: getting into a system that allows you to reach the goal you want one bite at a time, opposed to trying to, just to coin a phrase of what they use, put the wall up in a weekend. I was when I was actually looking at it, it really brought the rules that my uncle used to tell me all the time. Like I said, my uncle was a contractor.
Mhm.
He didn't cut a piece of wood until he measured it twice, and then looked at it again to make sure before he cut it, the numbers lined up. So this is my take on it. When you're preparing your foundation to start taking your wealth journey, did you actually take the time, or you're just following a video that said, jump into it, do this, because you're following the words that someone else told you? Or have you taken the time to do the research around your real finances and set a foundation so you can start building what you need to start taking on? What do you think about that, babe? I mean, 'cause that's what I got out of the video.
Mhm. Well, that's an amazing point of view. I'm gonna be honest. And can you guys hear me? Because I know it might be a little delayed.
Yeah,
It's
you have
just
to slow
my
it down.
internet is a little shoddy, but I'm here, baby.
Half a
But I'm
second,
here.
half a second, babe.
All right. What I want to share with you guys is, and Mr. Thomas, let me tell you something. Correct. Correct. What I like the most about this video myself is that it didn't make it seem as though there's a cookie cutter way to do it. It starts with you. This is why I'm like, this one connects so closely to how we teach. I don't teach in a way where it says, okay, you got to put this exact amount. Our goal is always to start with something. And you really, and she's right, you can't, oh my God, did you get the feeling of, or the idea of the richest man in Babylon kind of rolling in your head?
Absolutely, absolutely. That was that was key.
Start that wallet to fatten.
Hmm.
Remember, she said savings is everybody right off the bat. You got to find the money. Start that pocket wallet to fatten. That's a first.
You know, and
That's a first. And that's a,
go ahead. Go ahead,
it's
Ron.
a delay. You want to start that pockets wallets to fatten. That means that you have to start creating a flow. or finding the money within the budget that you have already. And that's something most people, like she said, a streaming service you get rid of. That's money back in your budget. Somewhere you're overspending, like extra lattes or what have you. That's extra money that you're spending. So if you're saying, oh, I can't find it, you don't understand, that's the very first way to say, wait, no, not I can't, but how can I? We ask the question, how can I, instead of making a statement, but I can't. And
Absolutely.
that's like first step in digital financial literacy. First day, right?
Yeah, we share in the program that you have to go look at your budget and actually find it. The goal is actually to pay yourself first. And growing up in households, from the 70s and 80s, your mom said there's two things you got to remember: get money, your mother and your father, because not everybody has the same relationship. Have your rent money paid up, so you can have a roof over your head, and make sure you have transportation to get back and forth
That's
to work.
right.
Those were the only two budget plans that were actually locked into stone. But saving was not a
So you
requirement.
could sleep and work. That's
That's
it.
it.
You could sleep and work. That was
Now
it.
that we know better,
And so, but that's the lifestyle you were creating.
but now
That's the
that you know
lifestyle
better,
that was being created. You have to think about what, what your actions are creating. You
yeah,
know, what are the
you
habits that you keep creating? Are you happy with the outcome? What do? You have to change something to get a different outcome if that's what's desired. And most of us aren't happy. That how many people have that same problem where they're so what I love is that she kept talking about what I share. It's peace of mind. That consistency creates a peace of mind that rocks your whole world from the foundation. Because if you have a habit I mean, your check didn't stop. And when the habit connects to the frequency of your check, unexpected things are handled. And then it went into, she found ways to create interest. So that is always the pennies to gold process. You start with small amounts, figure out how to put them away consistently and automate. That's like a no, the right there is non-negotiable. You have to automate. Take yourself out the equation of your future savings. Stop. Make a decision and stick with it on an automated, you know what I'm saying? On make the action automated because if it goes according to your conscience, you're now living according to your lifestyle is according to your conscience.
know your
And the
feelings.
other thing is there's no extra money.
It's
True,
funny.
true. And money ain't got no feelings, so you need to take your feelings out of that conversation altogether.
A lot of there's some people, and I don't know how true this is, but I just experienced this because I'm dealing with it. Some people are still dealing with paper banking. Some people are still doing paper banking, so they gotta walk to the bank or walk to the check cashing place to get their funds for the week or the month or however they do
Hmm.
it. So you have to automatically put yourself in the mindset of when you put the cash in your hand. Uh, you know, I saw this in another good one. It was from the Amish video that we saw. They have something called the
Mm,
envelope. Everything gets put in an envelope.
the envelope system.
Envelopes. If you are still taking paper checks for an
But
income,
that see, I want you to remember this, Mr. Thomas. Don't forget, envelopes still have you. Those are too liquid. They too close to you.
yeah,
We are not Amish. Amish people have way higher levels of
I got it. I got it. But I'm
levels
trying.
of control. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? The
just
envelope looks real. It looks real enticing when something go down.
yeah. But the idea is to put it in the envelope and put it where it belongs first, and that's what I'm just trying to share with people. Yes, it's going to take a little, and I don't like to use the word willpower, but take the willpower and turn that process into an automatic thing. You get the envelope. If it's supposed to go to the bank and go to your savings, take it to the bank, put it in the savings. Don't make a whole make it. Don't make a thing out of it. Make that be the system,
Right.
or trust the process that works for you. If you know playing with the money in your hand causes you issues, put it in the bank so you can start your savings plan to grow, or start your, or whatever it is, your insurance to grow. And then maybe if you decide to find out if you can get yourself automated into it, work your way into an automated system. But I know a lot of people have this idea that they don't trust automation and stuff going direct deposit. Unfortunately, nowadays everything is on the way to direct deposit or automatic payments, no matter how you see it or work. It's changing over. For those of you who are still getting paper products to your home, come
The paper system is
2027, you're
changing,
dropping it out.
right?
That's being omitted.
That's months away. That
Yes, it
is
is.
seriously away. I'm like, he said 2027. I thought you was at least gonna say like 2030. Dang.
No, months away. They're talking about everybody's getting put on a card system. But then but now Ruby,
So
that falls into line with
it's okay. We know you where you at, brother.
falls into line with the
Alarms. Okay.
2025 objective, the ISO 2025. Everyone needs to be on a digital platform so they can actually enact the plans that they have going into play in 2027. Not to change the subject, there is a whole game plan already laid out. If you take the time and go onto the federal.gov website, you can see some of the information. Or come to class with us and we'll get you situated and
Yes, you
share with
can.
you, we'll share with you more information. Oh man, so one of I like.
Well, if you want, so
Beg you were
guys, if
saying?
you, it sounds like we're talking over each other. It's only because of a delay in the internet. So please bear with us. Today's show, we actually like the video and it has a lot of good points. Mr. Thomas, am I cutting in and out?
Just barely. I just muted myself so that you can have a clearer signal.
Thank you. Okay, so while I have the moment of clarity, I want to make sure, because what this did was entice me to name our class for Wednesday. We're going to talk Wednesday's session on P2G. You guys go to P2G on the website, p2gnetworks.com, and make sure you sign up for our free get together. The theme of that will be habits over hysteria. We're going to be having a conversation that allows us to start seeing and visualizing this. How does it work? How can it work for you? Habits over hysteria. That just came to me during this time because that's what I was hearing. When you asked me, what did you get? That was really a theme that came into presence. That's the theme in which we're going to be talking about based on this particular video we saw. For those who really need to get it together, you need to show up somewhere where people are getting it together and have an action plan for that. Too many times we get stuck with talking about it. We're in our head. That's why when Mr. Thomas talked about, okay, and you do it when you're ready and stuff, I'm like, okay, do it with what's good for you. No, because that's what you've been doing. It's time. If you want to change, you have to go somewhere where the change information is. Where you got new information, not this information you've been going on. And that's not about you, more about what's possible, because that's the conversation we're in. The possibility of feeling, how should I say, feeling calm when things go wrong, as opposed to feeling the hysteria and the harsh of your chest, the tightening of your muscles when one thing could possibly go wrong. Y'all know that. You know what that feels like. You know what that feels like if you at work, you trying to keep your head down and you trying to keep out of the line of sight for people looking at you for results. This place is about to go under and you got to find something else. There's too many people going through that right now. But what happens when you don't have to feel that way because you are not just prepared for it, you're consistently keep taking care of that into your future. And then allowing, it's like the young lady said, your money to improve and to move with you in time. See, that's a system. That's what we've been teaching. To have your money move with you in time. Your savings should be moving with you. Shouldn't just be sitting. And yes, even in a bank account, you're going to get, Mr. T, we're always talking about you guys are going to have more than your bank account. So when it hits your bank account, does it need to stay there? No, it needs to have a plan. I want you guys to make sure you visit last week's show on Monday. Last Monday, we had an amazing video. Don't forget to go to P2G Networks TV on YouTube and go check out the video from last week. Use this information to help you get to a goal because it all works together. Now, we won't be doing it for you. It's not what we do. What we will be doing is working out plans for individuals, the one that works for you in a space where others are doing the same. I hope you guys come because next week is going to have a lot of fun. We have a couple of things going. This is definitely the lead theme in the room. Mr. Thomas?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like I said, shout out to the platforms we got on. We got It's T, BC the Warrior, Larry.
Guys.
Thank you guys for being on with us. Thank you for showing up. Oh man, let me say this. What we do on Wednesday is like no other program. I really got to be very honest. It's like no other program. We actually give you
Really?
a platform to come to, so you can actually ask the questions that are important to you, the things that matter to you, and find some resolution and have some direction to go. Not answers, but direction. Because it's more important. If we tell you the answers to everything you want, you're not getting anything out of it. But if you take the time to take what we give you, the information that leads you to the points that you're trying to get to, guess what? You have something that no one can ever take from you because you actually earned that. It wasn't given to you; it was earned. A lot of times when you go to go to a platform and you think, oh, they're gonna give me all the answers. All you do is give up your money and you miss it because you thought they were gonna do all the work for you. This is not what P2G is about. We're not doing all the work for you. We're educating you into the process of how to put yourself in a position to create your financial education, financial wellness, financial lifestyle so you can move ahead, so you can take advantage of all the things that you said you wanted to create through your dreams and aspirations. And P2G is just, we want to be the conduit that you choose because we share it the way you say you need it. And not only that, one last piece on this video that really stood out to me, and I thought it was very pressing that we say this. The number doesn't really matter. The number doesn't matter where you start, just that you start.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need to solid your foundation and get your bills in order before you start your savings plan, I don't recommend it. You might as well start the savings plan because your bills will always be your bills and they're never going to change. If you're behind this week, you'll be behind next week. I'm not even trying to sugarcoat it and make it sound like anything special. If you're behind this week, you're behind next week. You can't catch up. They're not closing your
better
account.
before you get started.
You got to get better before you can get. You got to get good before you can get great. So take this, go with it, and
No, I said it ain't getting better before you get started. So we might as well get started.
Yeah, it's okay. Got that. So we got Wednesday's class, and oh man, this is um one thing that really I like about this, and I'm looking at my notes because I need to have my notes, and I got to find a better place to put them if I stop looking away from the screen. um, you guys have these subscriptions that you don't use, and I'm gonna suggest it. Go look at all the subscriptions that you have, and see which one you're actually
There are
using.
other areas where money leaks out.
Yeah, there are areas that sell, but
Okay,
subscriptions
so
come to be a big one.
one of the things, yeah,
Go ahead.
they do happen to be one. I had I had this conversation. Sometimes people are really attached to those things. Y'all know what I'm saying? Some people are like, because I gotta have my HBO, my Netflix, and all of this. Well, guess what? Sometimes you can even reduce the bill. I was able to actually do that and did it by accident because I got rid of I got rid of my players. I said, okay, this month everything shuts off. I ain't gonna lie. There was one I paid $23 for an entire year. That's the only one that's running as a yearly. I got rid of all the monthlies, and I was like, wow, I was spending like $180 trying to avoid cable in streamers. So I was like, wait, what happened? And this is after financial literacy, after telling people to do the same thing. But then I discovered it creeps up on you. When you focus, you discover something. What happens is that I went from actually was about $140 a month, and I didn't realize how many streamers were actually on. So I got rid of some stuff because I wasn't using all of them. Some I had forgotten I even put on, and they chipped that $7.99, $16.99. Okay, the top one was like $20.99. I cut that one off immediately, and it was a little change and stuff. What happens is that I became aware of my spending and realized I had been literally throwing money out of the window every month in something I didn't have the ability or time to use. The more time I spent streaming, the less time I spent working and making money. So it became very expensive as a habit. I can't say taking streamers away are going to make you make more money. I do know it's going to put more money back in to your budget. And then I got a little help. How should I say, from my not so digital guardian angel. Why do I say that? Because it is her job to make this company money. So while checking into one of my services, my technology services, I was checking on my internet, right? She noticed that I wasn't using cable. She said, oh, you only have internet with us and phone. I was getting rid of the phone, trying to lower my bill because I'm like, we're going to clean it up, right? Clean up the house. Now, I just gotten a large over $100 bill off from streaming. Got rid of it. I was able to lower my network bill. So that's all extra money right, for me to now save. That's how my mind thinks. I'm a human being, so we think extra money. Only I have a human being that has new information. I know that this is going to shift over to my savings pile, to my pay yourself forward file. Now I know that because that's my habit, my new habit. And I just found the money to put it in. Now, what she did was explain to me that for $23, we can give you this, and this a month. And it will still cost you what you already were paying, or I should say, it will cost you $5 less than what you were already paying for your phone service that I just got rid of. Now I got my streamers back. I still reduced my phone bill, my internet bill. And all that extra that so-called extra money is now savings, building with time with me. If I have an emergency, now while I watched Downton Abbey last month, I can still pay that emergency fee. I still got the emergency fund. That's a mindset and a life set I like having. It's an improvement. So the goal is not to fulfill the things that make you feel like other people. What fulfills you? I like my streamers. I like when I talk to my relatives, they be like, yo, check out Netflix. And I could go, okay. Because it's something we have in common. And it's okay. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If streaming doesn't have to be everything everywhere all the time. Pick one and keep it running. You know what I'm saying? At one point, I remember, that's why I said I just got rid of them, because I was juggling streamers just to keep the funds down. And I decided to just cut it out. And so it, for me, gave me an opportunity to reconnect to a crowd of people in a conversation and stay connected. I learned a little something about social integration when one of in a job training. One of the questions they'd ask me about was, "Which one are you?" This my sister. Hey, go breakfast. I gotta go registration. She's so guys, say hi to my sister Diamond. She's doing her thing here in Georgia. Say hi. There she is. That's my sister. We
Hey,
in
sis,
GA
what's going
together.
on?
I love it. Absolutely, man. And let me know if you need anything. I got you. All right. See, what happens is we do what we do anywhere, wherever we go. And of course, that's my baby girl. I love it. I'm here with my sister, y'all. Y'all know how I do. And the thing about it is I did this. I planned because I'm done with what we're talking about. I made the time, but I made time through finances. I made time pay. Y'all see how that works? And that's what we're teaching. That is what we're sharing with folks, how to do it for yourself, how to break through whatever's holding you back, whatever's keeping you from feeling like you can do it. It's time for a breakthrough. Y'all know it. You tired of the run around, the feeling like, oh my God, if the refrigerator break or if one more thing go on my dang car, I gotta, do I fix it or do I get a new one? And how I'm gonna do that because I don't have the what? The money. When you can get money off your back as the head of your life and you become the head of your life, guess what? Anything is possible. Peace of
That makes
mind shows up.
that really makes a world of
Mr.
difference when you
Thomas?
don't feel that when you don't feel that weight on your shoulder of what emergency is going to take me out this week, and you have that
Mm-hmm.
emergency fund, not reserve, emergency fund that are actually planned out. It allows you
And
that peace of
emergency funds are different from reserves.
yeah,
Mr. Thomas, say it again. You said it's
yeah,
reserve, and that's
yeah,
what people think. You're not reserving anything. What you are doing is creating an ongoing, flowing fund that protects the future.
yep, absolutely. You gotta make sure you take care of those things. You gotta have a fund for
Yeah,
emergency, a
that's your
fund for
future fund.
unexpected outcomes. And they said it, medical bills, car breakdown, all those things are
And
unexpected.
wait, what? But can you choose? My question is this: not only unexpected, can you also choose to go on vacation to fund a vacation? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
When you get that so-called extra money, the raise or the bonus, I should say, does that give you opportunity to spend more because you got more?
No,
Well, do you want more life or do you want more stuff?
that's a question that people really gotta
You
answer.
know?
That's a question people really need to answer because you
And
can
then
pack.
there's so let me throw this out at you real quick. Let me throw this out at you real quick. How many
I'm
of
ready.
y'all are paying high interest long-term loans, debt? That's another place you can cut that out. Did you know that? You can actually cut out the interest rate you're paying so you can put more money in your budget back in your budget and get it back.
Yep.
But who's explaining what's possible and how to find it? I'm
Yeah.
loving AI right now in the world. I am
Yeah.
not joking you. I am loving it because I know what AI is and I know how it works and I know how to make it work for me and my family.
You have to,
So I teach it to the people.
AI is a tool that has many different uses, and you. We got a we're gonna have a new class coming up. Do we want to share that with them now and let them know about the new class coming?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a new class coming. I call it AI 101, but AI 101 can be used for as a new side income, a new way to educate life, new way to get a new job. AI 101 is what is coming in the near future for P2G networks. and come sign up, ask about it. And if you haven't been to our old site to sign up and let us know that you want to be part of our system, we have a new site coming up very, very soon. Very, very soon, y'all. P2G is about to break out into new entities, a new platform, and we can't wait to have you guys there. It's so amazing. I'm excited already. I was kind of bouncing around it last
I'm
night.
saying old site. It's the only website you got.
Uh, our website, okay.
I said,
I mean,
stop saying old site. It's the only website you got.
true. For now, I'm just,
Uh,
I'm just excited for the stuff coming. Oh man, but we also got, and
I am.
I don't want to go without letting people know about our Saturday class. Saturday is the status correction. Let me jump up here real quick. All right. So
Mhm.
we're talking about putting money away and saving and protecting them. Wouldn't it be good to know how to do it effectively and save and know who you are and where you are and why creditors are doing what they're doing to you in this economy and how to understand it better from prevention. I mean, better is not even a
He
good
said
choice.
credit. Did you? Okay, wait. Did you just say predators are doing what they do to you? I
Yeah, I
got to ask a
did.
question. Who got who got accosted by a creditor and said, "We're gonna give you money and you gonna pay us 26 to 49% on the dollar"? No one did that but you.
Yeah,
You
you
signed up
volunteered
for the
for it.
terms.
Yeah, you
But
volunteered for it.
but do you know what you've signed up for? Give me one moment. Apologies, Mr. Thomas. That's my sister.
And sometimes people don't really understand what they're signing up for. They kind of jump into stuff and they're like, oh yeah, it looks good. One of the things that she may get me because she ain't on right now. But when my other half went to college, she had the most expensive Snickers bar in the world. You go to the store and get a Snickers bar, it's $1.25 maybe. Why $1.25 turned into $500? Because we don't know how. At the time when you're growing and you're learning how to get finances, you think other people's money is your money.
Dang, I heard that.
Oh,
I
you heard that,
heard
baby?
that. You right. You so right. I heard that. That's so right. And the sad thing is, I could tell you, I know it hurt because it's happened. How, like you said, $150 could end up turning to $500 owed, and you signed on for that.
Yeah.
But you didn't sign on for habit. You signed on for habits that you didn't have. But you know what? I want to share something with you. That same $150 of credit that you got can turn into $50,000 worth of working credit, assets, and payments, all back in your pocket. It's all about how you. And if you want to come and hang out with us on one Saturday evening when we're talking about that, come on in. Because that's a free session. That's when I say free, I mean look, it's where we're giving our time to the community, but ain't nothing free about it. You got to work this. You are not walking away with free food. You're walking away with potential for food. You understand what I'm saying? It becomes potential. You decide if it's food in the end. It's information. Because I tell you, I'm a do about it, not a talk about it. That's why my credit looked the way it do. That's why it's changing because my habits show what I know, what I've learned. And when my habits show something I don't want, I learn something new. Does that mean I seek new information so that I have a better outcome? And that's what we teach. The motto on P2G is acquire, build, protect. That is the entire P2G model for the entire platform. P2G Networks Global is who we are. And we are teaching people to acquire no matter where you are, starting with smallest amounts, because that's where we are all. We're at the beginning. Go ahead, Mr. T, take it down. Let's go, because it's time, baby. I got
Yes.
business to do today. I'm traveling. I'm making the most of that time. And I thank you all for being on with us. We hope you got a great message today. And some of y'all are at work breathing easy, knowing that you can give yourself, you don't have to wait to ask nobody for a raise. You can give yourself a raise. You just need new information. And I can either see you on Saturday night or on Wednesday night. You're welcome. We love you and we thank you for your time always. Mr. Thomas, I love you. I miss you. I'll see you soon, okay? I'll be in touch. Peace and love, my baby.
You're leaving us? Guys, thank you for being on with us. This is Breakfast with Tom. This is Mental Wellness Monday. And we will be back here on Wednesday with an amazing guest. Her name is Denise Wade. She is an evangelist. She's
Ow.
a book
Yeah.
author, public speaker, and she has a conference
Mm-hmm.
for women coming up on August 22nd.
The women's conference, yes.
Women's conference in Texas. So if you're out there in Texas, come on, show your love. Come on to the show, and come and support one of your locals. All right. And we are out of here, y'all. Peace. Love you, baby. Talk to you.
Ooh, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da, see it. Wake up and rise, open your eyes. It's breakfast with the Thomases, the ultimate prize. Mental wellness.